What's up, and welcome to episode number 3 of the Luebbers journey. So I know I mentioned a structure yesterday, and I thought it was a good idea, but I got some feedback that it was a little bit too much, like I was trying to cram stuff in. So I've changed my approach, and this is going to be more like a captain's log, meaning I'm going to sort of recount simply what's happening. Very straightforward. And hopefully this will be more interesting, and if a particular video just is not interesting to you, then don't watch it. But hopefully enough interesting things happen that this strings together a pretty cool sequence of events. And it certainly will be cool for me, at the very least, to look back on. So I want to talk today about something interesting that's happening in terms of my dancing, in terms of my Irish dancing. And so I'm training for the Worlds right now, going to practicing regularly. And it's interesting because the place that I'm practicing in currently does not have mirrors, and mirrors are something that I've always danced with for my entire life. Basically, I've viewed mirrors as basically essential to dancing really well. And I'm finding that dancing without mirrors, I actually enjoy it more. In fact, I enjoy it a hell of a lot more. And it's weird. It was super weird at first, but it's really interesting, and I kind of love it. I really like that dancing, Irish dancing, has become way more enjoyable. And I think it's largely because the lack of mirrors, and there's a metaphor in here somewhere that maybe I'll try to draw out. The lack of mirrors means I don't have the judging critical part of my brain activated, or at least as activated when I dance. And it's a lot less of an analytical mindset, which I guess I had been in the habit of dancing in a sort of analytical mindset. And it's a lot more creative, and it's based more in feeling, meaning I still focus on the fundamental techniques, like turning out my feet, like pointing my toes, but I focus not on the visual representation of them in a mirror, which I guess is a little bit removed. I focus on them in the sense of how they feel and what they simply feel like. And it's super powerful. And I'm realizing that this probably has all sorts of applications in my life. You know, I talked yesterday about this technique that I use called morning pages that makes me more creative and has been recommended by a lot of people to increase your creativity. And I think that it's really the same principle at work. It's really the idea of, if you can shut off that critical part of your brain and get yourself to just execute and root it in the feeling, the intrinsic enjoyment of the act and the actual moment that you're living in my experience, this is my absolute favorite place to be in. And dancing without a mirror is just the latest way that I've been able to tap into this creativity and non-judgmental state. And it's pretty amazing. I love it, and I didn't expect that I would. So that's the most interesting thing, the most interesting insight that I've made lately. And I'm now thinking about all the various ways I can apply this insight to different areas of my life. How can I take the work on my business and ask, what would this look like without mirrors? Or what would this look like if I took the analytical part of this activity, the dissection and analyzing the pros and cons and deleting things, and I just put that somewhere else? And I think maybe this looks like writing content and only editing it 3 days later, so that the actual act of creation and analyzation is completely separate. And yeah, that's a pretty cool insight. We're about out of time, but I definitely like this captain's log type format better. Let me know your thoughts if you have any, if you have an opinion one way or the other. And yep, that's it for today.